Hello, hope everyone's doing alright. Okay, so today we're going to be exposing the Baby Don't Lie video by Gwen Stefani. It was a single that she just recently released not too long ago. And if you haven't checked out my previous video, Is Hollywood Getting Saved in 2014 Exposed? She's actually featured in that video, and I'll leave the link in the description below, so you can check that out. And I felt a little pressed on my heart to kind of do some research and to expose this video in particularly, so here we go. Now upon looking at the video, it definitely felt like it was kind of like a psychedelic take on the Wizard of Oz, with Gwen being Dorothy, and then later we see a Tin Man, Scarecrow, and Cowardly Lion in the video, and there's definitely a lot of so much esoteric symbology, a lot of new age symbology in the video, and we're just gonna dive right in. And also all the articles and videos that I'll be referencing I will leave in the description below as well. Alright, so as you see, the video actually begins with her being in black and white, and just as Wizard of Oz, it begins in black and white, and that's very significant because in the occult, they actually believe that in non-duality, that good is evil and evil is good, that are kind of one and the same. And it says in Isaiah 5:20, who call good evil and evil good, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. And that's exactly what they believe. And if you also check out just their Masonic temples, they actually have on the floors black and white checkerboard. So that is exactly what they believe. They believe in that non-duality, and that goes back to the garden of taking a bite of the knowledge of taking a bite of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. So they kind of just clump those two things together, and they believe that's one and the same. So that's where that is coming from. And then she then is oops, there we go. She then is sucked through a tornado right here and transported into another realm, another world of color, and just as in Wizard of Oz. And also the tornado actually represents that transition from the old to the new, kind of like a shift in consciousness, if you will. And so that's what that is. And yes, as you see right here, she's now in color in this new world, in this new land, and you also see that she is wearing red, and that's also very significant, not only because Dorothy had red slippers, but also because red is a very strong color in the occult as well, because that also ties back to the Whore of Babylon and Revelations 17:18, where we have the Whore of Babylon, who is dressed in red and scarlet, who has within her the blood of the saints and martyrs of Jesus Christ. And she rides upon the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns, and the 7 heads represent the 7 kingdoms. 5 have fallen, 1 still reigning, and then the other has yet to come. And then the beast itself represents the 8th. And in short, the whore and the beast, they both fall. The world mourns and heaven rejoices, and the world mourns because the fact that the whore fornicated with all the kingdoms in the world. And it's also believed that The whore represents the Catholic Church, and I'll leave a link in the description below from an expose done by Bible Flockbox, which is facts the Roman Catholic Church doesn't want you to know. It's about the whore of Babylon, how the Roman Catholic Church could represent the whore of Babylon. And so definitely check that out. And also with the shoes, yes, in the movie of The Wizard of Oz, in the movie The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy was given red slippers, but in the actual story, she's given silver slippers. An article done by the Vigilant Citizen says, before undertaking her journey, Dorothy is given the silver shoes, which represent the silver cord of mystery schools. And Dorothy was wearing ruby slippers in the movie due to a lasting change by the director. Now, in the occult schools, the silver cord is considered to be the link between our material and spiritual selves. So that's what that is right there. And also, Lord wanted me to point this out, that Gwen is no blonde, and that's very significant in the occult because that's what they thrive on. Like a lot of the artists and talent that they really promote, that they really get behind, are people who are blonde. You have like Britney Spears, Lady Gaga, Madonna, you have Katherine Heigl, Lindsay Lohan, Nicole Kidman, and Taylor Swift, and they're all blonde. You notice Taylor Swift's the only natural blonde, and all the rest of them are not natural blondes, and is also because I believe is a spirit of white supremacy, of racism. And if you even go back to the time of Hitler, where he was doing the Holocaust, where he was wiping out all these Jews and wanted to raise up this superhuman Aryan race of blonde-haired, blue-eyed people, I believe that is an evil spirit, and that is something that's infiltrated the entertainment industry, and that's why you see all these individuals with blonde hair, and a lot of them aren't natural blondes, and so that's what they're wanting to portray, that is what is beautiful, that is what we should obtain to. So, and if you also look, when she opens her eyes, her left eye is exposed, but her right eye is covered, and that also goes back to Zechariah 11:17, which says, "Woe to the worthless shepherd who leaves the flock. A sword shall be against his arm, and against his right eye. His arm shall be completely withered, and his right eye shall be totally blinded." And that is linked to the Antichrist himself. So, we see all these artists do the right eye symbolism. That is linked to the Antichrist, the beast system. And so, later in the video, when the world is actually formed, when we're actually formed, now it's full color. The road is yellow, the sky is purple, and then we see the tornado again. The tornado is actually yellow and purple, and that's huge significance in the color as well. You see the land has formed a pyramid, in black and white pyramids. And then the song actually began. And this is also very significant as well. With the song, there's actually, the lyrical structure is actually a 666. In the chorus, pull up the lyrics right here. And we're in the in the lyrics, you actually see, she says, baby don't lie. She says baby don't 6 times in chorus. In the chorus it's said 3 times in the entire song. And so you have baby don't 6 times 6, 6, and then you have baby said 6 times, so that's 666, and don't said 6 times, so 666, so it's 666 throughout the lyrical structure as well. And that is also correlates to the beast system. Revelation 13:18. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. And so that also correlates back to the Antichrist beast system of 666. Now, as she's walking, there are these vibes or vibrations coming off of her. I'm going to get into that as well. And in some of her movements, when the vibrations come off of her, they're kind of shaped as Baphomet. And if you don't know what Baphomet is, what Baphomet is a half human, half goat idol, pretty much, that they worship, and it has male and female parts, and you actually see this a lot in the entertainment industry. They promote this a lot. You see Lady Gaga promoting it here with all the horns. You see Madonna promotes it. Beyonce has it on her, and it also is within the political system as well. You know, with this is the interview that we were actually shown, and then the promotion picture that you see like all over media. It's this. You know, why is it like this? When you see clearly, that it's not like this in the actual interview, but when you see these promo shots of the interview, it's obviously been doctored. Now, jumping to the yellow and purple, all this is extremely significant. Now yellow represents wisdom. Now the entire story of the Wizard of Oz is an allegorical tale of the soul's path to illumination. Yellow Brick Road, the Buddhism, an important part of part of their teaching, the same concept is referred to as the golden path. I knew I said that word. Alright. Now the yellow brick road suggests gold, the perfect metal. Gold is considered to be divine and the source of wisdom by the Illuminati. And now purple, in Hinduism, Buddhism. Now Hinduism associates purple with a oneness with God, peace and wisdom. In Buddhism, the lotus flowers symbolize purity and rebirth, but their meanings alter slightly as they change color. The purple lotus flower is called the mystic lotus, pictured as a bud. It represents the heart prior to enlightenment, and in full bloom it symbolizes the virtues of the Buddha. Now in pagan religions, such as Wicca, purple takes on a more mysterious meaning. Now purple symbolizes the occult, secret dealing, and hidden force. Traditionally, burning a purple candle from midnight until dawn at the beginning of Samhain, however you say that, the Wiccan winter solstice, is supposed to bring good luck. So that's what the yellow and purple represent. Now like I said before, it was kind of like a psychedelic. The video is kind of a psychedelic take on the Wizard of Oz. But also, when I first saw it, Lord also out in one. So, the psychedelic interpretation, more than some of the others, has its roots in popular culture, specifically with Jefferson Airplane's White Rabbit and Larry. It's written by Grace Slick, include a lot of palace imagery as well as some not-so-subtle drug references, which nevertheless were subtle enough to make it past the radio censors. So pretty much it kind of sums up that, Alice in Wonderland is kind of linked to, um, the hippie culture, um, which was pretty much in a cult, and they were pretty much taking LSD, and they were opening themselves up to the demonic realm through the psychedelics that they were taking, and that's pretty much kind of what this video represents, and we're going to get to more in-depth into the psychedelic aspect as well, and also in the chorus. Now when she gets to the chorus, you can see multiple versions of her, and when you get into the later in the video, you get to see more multiples of all of these different people in the video, and that is linked to MK Ultra mind control, and I'm going to leave a link in the description. Roseanne Barr actually came out and said that MK Ultra is a huge problem in the entertainment industry, and also I'm leaving the description an interview done by the Vigilant Christian with Fritz Springmiere, who knows a whole lot about MK Ultra mind control and what it's about, and they go really in depth of what it really is, and also leave a link to the Esoteric Science Roundtable with Kory Kortis, and it's an excerpt from an episode called The Butterfly Effect, where they talk about MK Ultra mind control and how Britney Spears kind of broke out of that, going back to 2009 when she shaved her head, and we go back, and in short, it's kind of like a very sophisticated version of demon possession, and there are many celebrities who have fallen victim to this. I'm pretty sure there are a lot more, but these are a few who have kind of come out and kind of had like mental breakdowns or have talked about being demon possessed. With Beyonce talks about her alter ego Sasha Fierce, and she talks about this energy that comes upon her that makes her do things that she wouldn't normally do on stage, and it's actually a demon. And we also have Nicki Minaj, who says that that she has a demon in her that's called Roman, that's birthed out like rage and all this, and she tries to tell it leave, but it won't leave. And we also have like Lindsay Lohan as well, who's had a lot of issues in the past as well, and these are all alleged victims of MK Ultra mind control. And you also see a lot of imagery like this in the entertainment industry as well, with the multiple, like you see this is Britney in the Scream and Shout video with will.i.am, and you see her with multiples, and we also see this Pepsi commercial with Beyonce, you see her with as the multiple, as the alters, as they call them, and then we also see, and the butterfly is also symbolized as mind control as well, and this is obviously Iggy Azalea, and she has the butterfly covering her left eye. And then we have Eminem with a mannequin, and he's also a victim of MK Ultra mind control. Slim Shady is his alter, and so you're also going to see many celebrities with mannequins as well. And we also see here is Miley Cyrus with her in her "We Can't Stop" video, and she has um, the doll with her. And we also see, and here is Megan Fox, and she did a photo shoot with a mannequin, and that's supposed to represent, her alter ego as well. And also that made me think of Five, Mark 5, and that's basically about the man that Jesus encounters who is, demonically possessed by Legion, who has all these legions in him, and he's like shackled and chains. Like he was bound with shackles and chains, but he pulled them apart, he broke them off, and he was taking like rocks, and he was cutting himself, and he was not in his right mind. And and the entertainment industry, they do these things because they realize that, they're being controlled by Satan, who knows that we are made in the image of God. Like we have the mind of Christ. We have the right mind of Christ, and he does these things to break these people down so they won't have control of their own mind, so they won't be in their right mind, so then they can be controlled and given all these altars, these triggers, so these demons end up controlling them, and they end up doing things that they would not normally do. And so that's why we have all these celebrities who have all these mental breakdowns, who the media is calling them crazy. They're saying they're just mentally, and they're not crazy at all. They just are demonically possessed when it comes down to it. And also, when we go into the second verse, jump into the second verse, right here, it kind of shifts into kind of the dark things, light dark, and then also it's kind of like psychedelic, and like it's all psychedelic, but I meant kaleidoscope kind of thing going on, with just all like the colors and the formation of all the dancers and how everyone's kind of like moving like in and out, and it made me think of the kaleidoscope, and we all know that kaleidoscope's like a cylinder, it has like all these prisms, and when light shines through it, you get all these images when you look inside of it. And I looked into it, and when I looked into it, there were these things called chakras. I didn't know what they were, and they had different colors that meant different things. Yeah, they have all these different colors that meant different things, and the two colors that were central were the yellow and the purple. And the yellow represents the solar plexus, and the purple represents the pituitary gland. And the solar plexus chakra is a center of personal strength, learning, and comprehension. It guides you through life by creating a strong sense of self, setting personal boundaries, and building self-esteem and willpower. The ability to bring change into your life and to the world is born within this chakra. Now, in short, it's pretty much saying, be your own God, believe in yourself, and all this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And it's completely false. And in the description of it below, ahead it calls it the solar plexus is the seat of your third chakra. The chakra is situated just below the sternum, where the ribs attach to the front, and you can imagine it to be a beacon of light which radiates from the center of your body. Its energy jet propels you to move forward toward fulfilling your dreams and goals. And you can further imagine that the solar plexus chakra is where one can find and cultivate energy that can enable you to turn desire into action. It is home to our want power muscle, previously known as the willpower muscle. Now that pretty much says, it's pretty much promoting, be your own God, like take matters in your own hands. You make your own, you shape and create your own destiny, and you're your own God, and this and that. And the pituitary gland is pretty much a pea-sized gland located in the center of your skull. It's right under your brain. And the gland chakra is also known as the sixth chakra, often known as the third eye. However, according to the postulates of yoga, the pituitary gland of the sixth chakra and the pineal gland of the seventh chakra must join their essence in order to open the third eye. And a circle surrounds the symbols of the first five chakras, blah, blah. And the sixth chakra rules our intuition and imagination and is associated with the parts of our consciousness concerned with a spiritual view of life. This chakra is sometimes known as the home of spirit and has the ability to inform us of the motivation behind actions. Through the sixth chakra, we can observe the outer theater of life from an inner point of view. Inner vision is also ruled by this chakra. Through meditation upon our brow chakra, we can gain great inspiration in the vision of our purpose and destiny. The brow chakra rules our sleeping dreams. And yeah, like pretty much the purple represents opening up your third eye. Like, and that is a symbol for the solar plexus chakra. It's a symbol for the pituitary gland chakra. And pretty much it's all new. It's just like yellow is taking charge of your own destiny, being your own God, and opening up your third eye. And when you do these things, you are giving a foothold to the enemy to have reign in your life. You are allowing him to control you. You are opening yourself up to inviting these demonic things into your life and taking control over you, and you are being deceived into thinking that these are good, these are your spirit guides, or these are your guardian angels or whatever. Well, they're fallen angels actually, and they're going to lead you into a path of destruction and hellfire if you continue to follow them. And upon looking this up, the Lord also put in my heart the Tree of Life, and that is linked to the Kabbalah Tree of Life. And I was asking, like, why are you bringing me to this? And not only does it look like a kaleidoscope, of course, but also, as we see here, I knew there was something that he wanted me to see, and he kind of highlighted the Chesed, the blue 4, right there, and I looked it up, and let's see. Well, first, let's talk about the Tree of Life. Now, the Tree of Life, as one of the 2 primary trees in the Garden of Eden, is one of the roots of all human understanding. To understand the Tree of Life is to understand the basic formula of existence. The Tree of Life is the foundation of countless ancient cultures. It is, I'm not going to attempt to say that, of the Nordics. The Tree of Life of the Aztecs and Mayans, and the body tree of the Buddha. Every great mystical tradition has a profound structure of cosmology, and every great cosmology corresponds to the Tree of Life. Excuse me. Now, and the Chesed, which I just pointed out to you before, was the blue circle, and the Chesed is greatness, magnificence, and divine love, and its energies are more human than the supernal father of Chakra, a sphere higher on the tree, which shares energy patterns with Chesed. Chesed is anabolic and upbuilding and distinction, to Bura, which is catabolic and downbreaking. Now, magical image of Chesed, the crowned and throned king. The image is extremely important for Chesed is the lawgiver, taking the raw forces of Chakra that have now come through the mother of forms, Bina. Chesed is that which emanates the archetypal pattern, building them up as they are readied for manifestation lower in the tree of life. And Gebura is also linked, Chesed is linked to Gebura as well, and Gebura is the sphere of might and strength. The energy here transmits courage and ability to tear down old and outworn patterns to make room for new ones. It is the sphere where you learn to fight for what you want when there is opposition in your path. Now, that was extremely important because it says the ability, the energy transmits the ability to tear down old and outworn patterns to make room for new ones. Tear down the old system and create a new world order, a new beast system. That is what the Gebura is. And then later it talks about there pretty much is a balance between Chesed and Gebura, and that also goes back to how the occult believes that there is a balance between good and evil, that they're both one and the same, and with this they both are one and the same, and they also believe in order out of chaos. And they pretty much, with all the things that have gone in the media, like all of like the shootings and the Ebola there and all these things, like they've created all these things, all this chaos, and they are bringing forth the solution. They are the cause and the effect. They are the chaos and the order. They are creating order. They are creating all this chaos, and then they're going to bring forth the solution, the order. And this new world order that they're bringing forth is going to be a totalitarian dictatorship, new world martial law order, and then they're going to cause it to be broken down, to fall apart. And then they're going to bring forth the Antichrist, who will represent the order, who will bring forth the peace, but he is not a real peace, because he is going to be someone who represents the new age of peace and order, and that we are all our own gods, and that we make our own destiny, and we can do what we want. To do what thou wilt, which is the whole of the law, which goes back to the lesser Crowley. That's what is going to be preached by this new age Antichrist, because it's going to be a new age Antichrist. It's not going to be a totalitarian Antichrist. He's going to be a new age, because they believe in order out of chaos. They believe that good is evil and evil is good, that they're one and the same. And so if they're going to have a totalitarian dictatorship pillar, know that they will have also a peace and love, quote unquote, because it's not real peace, it's not real love, pillar as well. Both different, they're both of the same. And that also goes back, and also with the analogies they gave here, they were talking all about how a lot about human reproduction, how Chesed is the potential to be fertile both in crops and in human reproduction, but Gebura sets and enforces the limits of what can be sustained in a healthy manner. And that also goes back to the fact that they are actually trying to depopulate us. And if you know anything about the Georgia Guidestones, there are actually stones that have been erected. Let's see. Wait, hold on a second. Here we go. There have been stones that have been erected, and it's pretty much like a 10 Commandments, pretty much. And the first one that is up there is maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Now, how are you going to tell me what the balance of nature is? The only one who can tell me what the balance of nature is God the Father, because He created everything that we see around us. And He knows what the balance of nature is. And the over 8 billion people that we have on this earth, that is the balance of nature, because He purposed all these people to be here for a reason, for a purpose. And you're going to tell me that our population has to be under 500 million? You know what they're trying to do? You know what they've been doing, actually? They've been putting GMO in our foods. They have been putting fluoride in our water. They have been doing all these chemtrails. Like, they've been trying to depopulate us for a very long time. And also with all these diseases that we get with all the cancers and stuff, and they use all these give us all these drugs and these radiations that even make us more sick, and we have all these drugs that are, the side effects are even worse than what we really have, and they're doing these things that make us sick because their goal is to depopulate the earth. And I'm going to leave another link in the description. It's an expose done by Lisa Haven, and is the NAS Doc Services promotes sterilization, global one-child policy, and pandemics to kill off the population. I'm going to leave that description below, and you need to check that one out, because that's some heavy, heavy stuff right there. And also in the video, now back to the video, towards the end, we see Gwen and the dancers. They all have, let's jump there. See, they all have these headphones, and they're all actually Beats by Dre. And there's an excellent expose that's done by the Vigilant Christian that's about Beats by Dre, and it's how it's linked to pharmakia, sexual immorality, and transhumanism. And pharmakia, definitions you see is the use or administering of drugs, poisoning, sorcery, magical arts, often in connection with idolatry and fostered by it. And it's pretty much the deceptions and the seductions of idolatry, and that's where we get the word pharmacy from. And it's also linked to the psychedelics with the LSD. Like, pretty much, like, it's promoting, drug use, because like I said, they're all about opening yourselves up, like elevating your consciousness, opening up your third eye, opening yourself up to the next dimension, to the spiritual realm. And that's what they believe in. And they believe in doing this pharmakia, this witchcraft, this sorcery, to open yourself up to the demonic realm, so you can contact these evil spirits who are going to help you get to your new you, the new level of consciousness, help you evolve, or whatever they're preaching. And it's all false. And all these people who are in the New Age movement, they all end up sick because they are opening themselves up to these spirits who have no right to be in our bodies. Like, when you open yourself up to the demonic realm, you will end up sick. And I know, like, fortunately, like, I wasn't sick a lot when I was growing up, but, like, after I got saved, whenever I ended up sick, it was because I backslid and I willingly opened myself up to something that I wasn't supposed to venture off into, and I ended up getting sick because I allowed them to have power, to have brain in that area of my life. And Ephesians 5:18, and do not be drunk with wine, in which is dissipation, but be filled with the Spirit. And that also goes with anytime you do not be of a sober mind. Don't be high, don't be drunk, don't take these things that are going to lead you to lower your inhibitions, to just cause you to not be in your right mind, because God wants us to have the mind of Christ. He's called us to have the mind of Christ, to be of a sound mind, and to not engage, to not indulge in these things, because they open us up to the demonic realm. And I also believe that before the fall that we had our third eye open, that we were able to see. Now don't quote me on this, but like I believe that Adam and Eve were able to see God as he is, as God. But because of the fall, like he had to close up their eye because sin had entered into the world, and he didn't want them engaging with these evil spirits. And so when you open yourself up, you are engaging in that, and that's definitely not what he wants any of us to do. And also, back in the video, on her cell phone, let me jump back over here. Where you be? Okay, here we go. On her cell phone it says, I'm on a journey and feel like discovering with my vibe to rad new music. Now, when you first read that, it's like, that makes absolutely no sense. But, just read this. On a journey discovering my vibe, rad new music. Now, pretty much this whole thing that we've been going through, it's been talking about going on a journey of discovering your new self. You know, being elevated to a new level of consciousness. And also it talks about vibes, and you know, that is definitely something that they believe in. They believe in vibrations. They believe in you know, filling out a room and filling out the vibes within a room or with people. And it's funny because with the New Age view, they believe that if you actually agree with them, that you have good vibes, but if you have conflicting opinions about certain things, then you have bad vibes. And it's actually happened. Actually went to California a few weeks ago. I was in California, and I went to Venice Beach because I couldn't sleep, and it was in the middle of the night, and pretty much I just walked. I was in Santa Monica. I just walked to Venice, and it was about like sometime after like 3:30 in the morning. I ran into these group of guys, and one of them was heavily into the New Age when I first met him, and started talking with him and everything. He's like, oh, you have a good vibe. But then when I started talking about Jesus, and when I disagreed with all the things that he was saying, that he was talking about, you know, be your own God, and like you create your own truth, and all this and that, and I was like, no, that's not true. It's after this. And he got all irate, and he was just like, dude, I can't talk to you anymore. You're getting up like bad vibes, man. You're gonna have bad vibes. And that goes exactly back to what they believe, that, you know, if you agree with them, you have good vibes. But if you disagree, you have bad vibes. And like I said, the Antichrist, like, this is what he's gonna believe in. He's gonna believe in this New Age doctrine. Like, if you give off good vibes, if you follow his command, or if you worship him, worship the graven image that he brings to life, then you give off good vibes. But if you do not go with what he wants, if you do not follow his command, then you give off bad vibes, and he's going to kill you. And so that just irks me. And like, just to think that there's so many people who think that life is in this, that there's peace and joy and love in this, and it's all false. It's not real. It actually brings forth enclenque, which is a Spanish word, which is a language that the Lord's been wanting me to learn for a very long time. And enklike means sickly, and the stuff, it makes you sick. It brings forth death into your life, because this is the enemy coming into your life, masquerading himself as an angel of light, and saying this and presenting this as something good and beautiful and wonderful. You can open up your spiritual self and explore the cosmos and elevate yourself to a new level of consciousness. It's not real. It's not true. It's not what God has for us. He came to bring life and life more abundantly. He says, John 10:10, the thief comes to steal. The thief does not come except to steal and to kill and to destroy. And I, that they may have life, and that they may have it more abundantly. And he says that he is the truth, that he is the life, he is the way, and no one gets the Father except through him. And if the Son makes you free, then you are free indeed. Like, he is inviting you right now into his back home, into his arms, because we are in a weird satanic beast system that does not care about you, that worships Satan, that work. These are a network of Luciferian cults who do blood sacrifices, who believe in Satan, that Satan is their god, and believe that God is the devil, and they worship Satan, and they do his bidding, and they believe that they are gods, that they are these elite, powerful gods, and they're going to be evolved and changed into godlike beings, and it's not true, because he has deceived them, because he knows that his time is limited. He knows where he's going. The enemy knows where he's going, and he is going to do everything that he can to try to take God's creation into the second death with him. But Jesus came. Jesus came to bring life and life more abundantly. He came so we can be set free from this demonic oppression, from this matrix that's been created. So we can come home, so we can be free, so we can have relationship, be reconciled with the Father again, so we won't have to worry about this worldliness, this beast system, because we are not of this world. We were not created for the world what it is today. He did not create this for us. He died on the cross so we could have life. He died not only for the collective, but he died for the individual. Not only did he die for the world, but he died for you. You who are watching right now. He died for you. He said that I see you, young person. I see you, old person. I see you. And he's actually giving me some names right now. I believe there's a Gwen. He's saying, I see you, Gwen. I see you, Emmett. I see you, Nathan or Natalia or Natalie, or a Nat name. Like, he's saying that I just see Theo. He's giving me a lot of names right now. So, excuse me, I'm really prophetic. So he's giving me a lot of names. Yeah, he's saying this, I see you, I see you where you are, and I love you. He's saying that he loves you where you are, as you are right now. He's called you to come to him as you are. You don't have to clean yourself up. You don't have to conform to these doctrines or these denominations that told you that you have to be like top-notch, grade A Christian. He said, you come to me as you are, and I will perfect you. I will make you clean. I will make you whole, because only he can do it. Only he has the power to make you new, to make you who you should be, who he created you to be, because he is the one who knows you better than you know yourself. He created you. He fashioned you. Before the foundations of this world, he knew you, and he called you, and he set you apart to be a prophet to the nations. And he made you out of his own image. You are wonderfully and fearfully made, young person, old person, wherever you are. If you are a follower of Christ, if you don't know Christ at all, He made you in His image, and He calls you to come, just to follow Him as you are, and He will show you the light. He will show you the way. He will show you who you are in Him, and He will show Himself strong to you right now as He is, and He will show you that He is a loving Father who loves His creation, His children, but He loves you enough to not allow you to stay in the junk that you are in. He loves you enough to clean you up and make you into the person that He created you to be, because He loves you, and He is a Father, and He is proud of who you are. He's not proud of the things that you've done, but He also doesn't care about the things you've done. He just cares about you. And He says that if you call upon His name, that if you proclaim it, that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, and that He resurrected from the dead, and if you repent of your sins, you shall be saved. So believe in that, have faith in that, have hope in that, because He loves you, and He died on the cross for you, for the collective and for the individual. He loves you a lot, so much. So there we go. I'm AJ. Know that you were made on purpose and for a purpose, and as long as you walk with the fire and peace of God, there is nothing that you can't do. There is no mountain that you cannot move. God bless.